So I have been this morning for a cluster injection, which you can see at the moment, or an infusion rather. I'm looking a little bit like a pin cushion, and the main reason for that is that for those of you that don't know, I had breast cancer about 5 years ago, and through chemotherapy it's actually caused a lot of damage to the veins on this arm. So what that actually means is I got quite bad plebeitis, which means the veins basically have got very inflamed, and that means that with this basic side, it's very hard to get cannulated. So the veins are very small, they don't really function that well, and if I do need to go to have anything done like bloods or infusions, they need to go in this arm. Unfortunately, this arm, because of the breast cancer, I've actually had my lymph nodes removed, which means this arm can't have bloods or blood pressure or any infusions done at all. So whilst that's sort of a small price to pay for being here, the main reason that I've had to have this A-cluster infusion done is because, due to obviously the type of cancer I had, it was a hormone-based cancer. It means that I've had to go into basically surgical menopause, so I've had my ovaries out, and I'm on endocrine management to reduce or sort of cut out any other sort of estrogen or hormone that could be floating around. And due to a side effect of that, I am now osteoporotic, so hence having to have the A-cluster infusion. Now, what I wanted to sort of bring awareness to is that once we hit menopause and once our hormones start changing, it's very common that we do have weakness of the bones. It is very common that we can have osteopenia or osteoporosis, which obviously means that we're more prone to bone issues, and the bones aren't very strong. And there is 1 in 3 of us, I think the last time I looked at the survey was 1 in 3 women over 45 are on that road to either osteopenic with weakened bones, or osteoporotic when bones are heading to that sort of brittle state. So that's a very simplistic way of putting it. What I would do is that a lot of us don't look like we should have brittle bones. A lot of us don't look, and that's a very, very bad name of the of what's going on in the bones, but that's how most of us sort of recognize it. And what it basically means when we're losing bone density, because that's really is what it is, it's the density of our bone. It means that our bones are cells like everything else. They get broken down and we regrow them and we replenish them. The issue when we have weakening bones, or sort of bones that are losing their density, is that we actually are not rebuilding bones at the rate that we're actually losing them. So as we lose and break down old bone in order to replenish new bone, the new bone isn't matching the rate that we're depleting at, so hence our bones become weaker. And this is obviously one of the common things that happens when we're in menopause, and there is a whole heap of things that you can do. And from what I can gather from a lot of the research that I've done, is that HRT, which we're all very, very scared of, and most of us go, oh, can't do HRT because, you know, that is a big problem. There just seemed to be, in recent terms, a big turnaround on that. So if you aren't at risk through hormonal cancers, or you aren't at risk because of hormonal complications, and you are hitting menopause and you are getting all these symptoms, then go and chat to your GP, or find somebody who is actually going to listen to you, because there are a whole heap of treatments out there, and there's a whole heap of people that are available to help. There's a very good one online called Dr. Claire Haver. I'll try and tag her, or put a hashtag down below, and she seems to have a lot of information which is very, very pro. You don't need to put up with menopause symptoms, and you don't need to put up with, you know, the weight gain and the mood swings and the sort of mum tum, the menopause belly, and all the other issues like painful joints, painful inflammation. And I can categorically say, from being very fit and healthy and an active physio for God knows how long, 25 years plus before I got diagnosed with breast cancer, having been completely and always just being sort of a very small size 8, very active, very able to move and function, to being suddenly put into surgical menopause and 20 kilo weight gain, massive painful joints, inflammatory sort of responses everywhere. There is a massive correlation with that compared to what I would say before. So like I say, if you feel that you have weight gain, that you have, you know, the hot sweats, that your joints are getting sore, your hips are sore, your knees are sore, your backs are sore, you're forgetting things, you're getting a bit sort of muddled, like you're getting quite anxious, you know, your stress levels are changing, that it's difficult to sleep, and also maybe look at getting your bone density checked. Especially if you are early menopause onset, it's worthwhile just having a chat with your GP and sort of getting a start point and a marker point for where you are at the moment, because like I say, from my point of view, I'm at the other end of that. I'm osteoporotic at 52 and have been for the past 2 or 3 years, and at the moment we're looking at, you know, just trying to maintain it and reclaim a little bit. So I'm doing a lot of being up on my feet, bone density sort of exercises, so weight bearing, trying to get a little bit of loading through the joints and the tissues and the bones to actually stimulate as much as I can as well. And that's worthwhile what you're doing too. You know, if you are looking that you're heading that way, think of load bearing, weight bearing joints, and if you are headed into osteopenia, osteoporotic changes where your bone density is less than it should be wary of things that are loading you into flexion, because typically there's a certain amount of things that we don't want to do if you do have bone changes. So go look up Dr. Haver, I think she is. I will try and tag her. Her page is amazing, or her TikTok account is amazing, and it's full of really good information. And if anyone has any information on how you can sort of tackle weight gain when you can't have a HRT for somebody like me, that would be much appreciated, because that's my one bugbear at the moment, is sort of stacking on the weight and not being able to change that. But yeah, if you are in that category over 45 and you feel that you're changing and you feel that your hormones have changed, then definitely go get them checked or have a chat with your GP and at least kind of benchmark so you know where you are right now.